Dark greetings.
Dark greetings.
What is up, bestie? I am going
Yeah.
to keep so 100 with you. Remember how I told you yesterday that I was done with carts?
Yeah.
I still had some left in one.
Okay.
So I'm rolling up off of a few pen hits and I am ready to talk, girl, because these 2 episodes were wild.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely get a lot more information.
A lot more information and a lot more questions. So,
Yeah.
hello. Welcome to the stream. We are discussing the next 2 episodes of the anime Serial Experiments Lain.
Yes.
And I just watched them today, so they're a lot fresher in my mind than the last time we talked about our little batch of episodes. So I'm hoping that makes for an even better discussion. And I have quite a few notes. So if you're ready to dive right into it.
Yes. I was just looking at my own notes and realized
I was about to say
misspelled.
you appear to be looking for something or
No,
looking
I was
at
looking at my
something.
own notes in confusion, but
Okay, so we open up the first episode that we watched is called Psyche, and this episode opens up with somebody at someone in was it in the club?
yeah, the one with the name you like, Siberia.
Siberia. It was in the club. Somebody asking someone else if they had ever heard of quote Lane of the Wired.
Yeah, that's my very first note because it's like, wait, what? like
Oops.
we spent a bunch of time last week trying to figure out what the Wired even is, and now all of a sudden she is of the Wired.
Yeah, which by the way, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but I will say even after these 2 episodes, I don't know how much clearer that exactly is.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
It has elements of a sort of virtual reality, but it also seems to be connected to real life events in some way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure what to call that, but it's interesting. But
is it connected though? I don't know. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But back to the beginning of this episode. When they take Lane into the police station after the shooting that occurs at the nightclub, the cop who's talking to her is like, "Oh yeah, I called your family and they didn't answer." And I thought that was so weird. I was like, "What the actual hell is going on?"
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like they have to have included that for a reason.
Yeah, you don't include that for no reason. It felt significant. And I also thought that the way Lane kept repeating Arisu's name was very odd and also felt significant.
I
don't know. It seemed like she was kind of was trying to make sure that she was talking to who she thought she was talking to or something like that.
Yeah.
It was all I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I had a weird thought that Lane isn't real.
Interesting. And I think some other things that have happened in these 2 episodes could honestly support that theory, and I will point them out as we get to them. But I also made a note about Lane's bear slippers. Those were very cute.
I know. She's got all these bear themed things. I wonder if that's significant or just cute.
Yeah, who's to say? We'll have to keep an eye on it. But when she gets home, her house is one of the cops has somebody drop her off back at her house, and the house is empty. And she looks in her parents' room, she looks in her sister's room, and there's just no one there.
Her parents sleep in separate beds, by the way.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. But yeah, so one, where is her family? Raises some questions. And I also think that I feel like this is going to be a show where you should question reality. So I'm wondering if that actually quote unquote happened.
Yeah, and So she gets there, the house is empty, she falls asleep on her desk,
Mm-hmm.
gets up, goes, opens the door and peeks, and like has a reaction and closes it again. We don't actually know what she saw though.
You actually, yeah, you're right.
So were her
Yeah.
parents like in there or like what?
I assumed it was maybe her sister's room,
Mm.
but I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, again, yeah, we don't know. We have no idea what happened.
Yep. Um, what's next? So we have a little interaction with her. Her computer is referred to as a navy. I'm assuming it's like, oh, to navigate the web or whatever, because this was
Yeah.
very, very early internet days.
Yeah.
Hey, Bandit, what's up? How's
Hey,
it
man,
going, my
I
dude?
also like pickles.
But
um,
there is an interaction with the Navi that kind of I think confirms that it is actually speaking out loud to her.
yes.
Because I recall that we talked about in our last stream that we weren't sure if that was kind of like an artistic choice that was meant to represent like text on a screen.
Yeah.
But I think this does confirm that it does actually have like a voice function.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it, which for the time period, you've got mail, like,
Yeah.
kind of makes sense.
But then the next morning, unless I'm blowing over any of your notes here, I feel like I'm really
No,
barreling ahead.
no, this is something I don't. This happened last week too. There's just not a lot of things that I note.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that like I write down anything that feels like a thing I should note. And for this episode, I ended up with 4 of those.
Okay. I didn't even count, but it's like 2 pages for each.
Bandits trying to make pickles.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Okay. The next morning, her family is back, and absolutely nobody seems to realize that Lane snuck out to a club in the middle of the night.
Well, I mean, they weren't home.
Yeah, they weren't home. But again, was that real? Wasn't it? Who's to say?
Yeah. Also, her mom is like, she sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know. She's the way she talks to Lane versus how she talks to her sister,
Mm-hmm.
I think is very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like she almost seems to resent Lane for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, now that you kind of put a word to it, that's exactly
Yeah.
the vibe.
Whereas she seems kind of pretty much cool with the other one. So I don't.
Yeah.
Which again, contributing to the idea that Lane somehow isn't like a real person. Yeah.
Luke
I don't
of
know
the
exactly.
Wired. What's up, my guy? I'm gonna guess that. Oh my god, you have a Serial Experiments Lain profile picture. Please, no spoilers. We are
Awesome.
only up to episode 4,
Yeah.
but I hope you enjoy the discussion of episodes 3 and 4 that we are
Mm-hmm.
currently engaging in.
Still on 3. Yeah.
Thank you, my dude. We appreciate
Spoilerino.
it. Okay. Where were we? There's something I really like about the art style of this show, and it's that a lot of times, especially like during the day when it's supposed to be bright out, there's so much negative space in the shots, and it's just kind of like a girl in the void, and that feels very significant somehow.
Yes. Yes. The more I talk about it, the more I feel like the theory could be.
I mean, well, I kind of do agree with you. But she is walking to school, and there's this interaction between like her and a parked car that implies that someone is like recording her,
Mm-hmm.
because they have like this
the red lights.
the red light like following her in like the blackout windows, and I'm wondering if it could possibly be that, or I wondered at the time if it could possibly be the same guy from before who was watching her when she walked to school, if he had just come back in a car this time.
Yeah, for some reason I didn't interpret it as being recorded. I thought they were reflections.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was just because, they had the weird ass shadows and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I thought, like, I don't know why. I just thought it was reflecting something in the environment. That never occurred to me.
I mean, could be. Or well, no, because we learn
We know
later
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
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 What am I talking about? Um.
So neither of us was corrected.
Yeah. But who the fuck was talking to her on the train?
Yeah, they just breezed right by that.
Uh-huh. Like this eighth grader, by the way. We learned how
Yeah.
old she is. This is a fucking eighth grader.
Mm-hmm. Very
Uh
responsible in 8th grade.
oh my god. But she is hearing voices.
Yeah. Seems cool
Like
with
I
it.
can't what exactly did it say again? Do you remember? It was something
Um,
ominous.
I mean, I do remember it, like asking, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what was after that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Um And then we have the first mention of the episode's title, which is Psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, it's very unclear what it is. Kind of, they
Yes.
refer to it in very nebulous terms.
Well, I mean, there is that point where I thought she was hearing the voice in her head still, but I think maybe it was her teacher talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
where he says like it boosts like access to the wired or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because it had that weird quality to the voice that made it seem like it was like
And she's
a
just like
digital
scribbling
voice.
on the page.
Yeah, that part.
And then like things kind of start to warp, and she hears another voice asking who is Lane, which that was something that made me go,
Yes.
suspicious.
Yes.
Um Next note I have is that I gotta agree with Adisu here about how they saw someone fucking die in that nightclub the night before, and they're just talking about it like a movie.
Yeah, honestly, like when we first see them like talking all excitedly at the beginning of the episode and stuff, when they were saying like, "Oh, did you see his face? We couldn't see it on TV." I thought like she was talking about a celebrity she got to meet or something.
Yeah,
And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, that's the girls from the club."
yeah.
You're talking about the dead guy. Wild. Yeah, no, it's a little weird.
It is a little
They
weird.
should be traumatized.
Um, then Lane finds a note in her locker.
Well, not a note, just
Or
an
not a
envelope.
note. What she thinks is a note. It's an envelope containing a computer chip looking thing, which I
Mhm.
correctly assumed to be Psyche.
Yeah, I mean, it's the title of the episode. It came up. They explain what it was, and all of a sudden, here's a chip. So,
Yeah. Oh, and I have another little kind of like stylistic note here. There's a shot of this very like psychedelic sky with these voices
Mhm.
overlapping, and I just thought that was a really cool effect. I like that a lot.
Mhm.
Um, and we learn that Excella is now scarce after the nightclub incident, which kind of implies that some time has passed.
Well, I don't think a long time. Is
No,
my
probably like a
understanding.
couple days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the guy takes it and then kills some people and himself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really great publicity.
No, not at all.
I don't think people are going to want to buy that.
No, I wouldn't.
And you kind of wonder if somehow they get in even more trouble for selling it and possessing it after what happened.
Very possible. But then we also learn through these, like, which I have two notes that are about the same point, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with first. This is when we first hear the Knights, as in like the KNIGHTs.
Or as Monty Python would say, English
Canadians.
Knickets.
But that is when we first hear mention of them. And I want to say that The Wired seems like a very sketchy place. If my assumption is correct, that's where all these disembodied voices are coming from.
I think it has to be.
Because, like, that seems like it has to be the answer.
Yes. Yes. I keep thinking about like new ideas and theories. Like, it's just,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, that interaction with her dad was very odd when she gets home.
Her dad is just odd, though,
He's
too.
very strange. Like, nothing
Like,
about this family seems okay.
is it just me, or do they animate him, like his face, somewhat differently than everybody else in a way that is unsettling?
I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, I find his dialogue more upsetting than I find the way that he's drawn.
Interesting.
I don't know.
What's upsetting about his dialogue?
It's just so or like his intonation and everything is so creepy.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm.
He gives me a bad feeling. Um yeah. And in the same car is once again watching her from outside her bedroom window and wait, what the hold on. Am I mixing up something from from
Did you just skip something?
Yeah, I think I did. Yes, because she goes back to Siberia.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy at Siberia seems to recognize her. He seems to think that Lane is someone else, but he calls her Lane.
Yeah, like he says, like that he hasn't seen her around in a while or
Mm-hmm.
something, which I mean fits with the girls in the earlier episode, like saying they thought they saw her there,
Mm-hmm.
like this girl that looked exactly like her.
Yeah.
So clearly, there's some sort of alter ego version of her, whether it's a separate being or it's her in her sleep or whatever. But
Oh no. You froze for a
oh,
second.
oh, you too.
Oh, fun. What were you saying?
Yeah. Um, like that fits with what happened in an earlier episode where the girls said that they thought they saw her
Mm-hmm.
at Siberia.
Okay.
So clearly, there
Yeah.
is either like another being who looks exactly like her, or she's doing the stuff in her sleep or something.
Okay. Um just
Well.
once again I'm going to say that these kids seem a little young to be at the club.
Yes, although I couldn't tell if they were supposed to be older or younger.
I feel like they were younger than her just based on
But
like the voices.
but then the one kid knew what was in the year 8 textbook.
Oh, so maybe they were supposed to be older than her.
Yeah, that was what made me question it because my initial thought was they were younger, but
Yeah, that would be pretty
yeah,
nuts.
I
If you're
know.
wired.
Yeah, well, and not only that, you're there and you're apparently talking to people and socializing.
Mm-hmm. Where was I? Oh yeah, and then one of the kids makes reference, like he references something about Psyche or like I can't remember if he was talking about like a game, like the game, which comes up a little bit later, or Psyche or what. But he said inside it,
Mm-hmm.
and again maybe he was talking about the Wired or something. And again, just things that make you go hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And more, the question is coming up: how do people know Lane from The Wired?
Yeah. Well, I keep thinking like more
Mm-hmm.
like additional theories. Like, oh, okay, maybe it's.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
and this is when hold on, let me double check my notes. Oh yeah, Lane's sister Maki, she comes home and there's these guys on their front porch with like Matrix-esque kind of glasses
Mm-hmm.
apparati
Mm-hmm.
type shit.
They made me think of the Borg in Star Trek.
Still haven't seen that.
Well, if anybody who has seen it will know immediately what I mean. So,
But,
they're cyborgs.
and, Maki tells them to get lost. They really don't seem particularly phased by it.
Well, because
And,
they're not there.
oh yeah, they say something like, oh, we were never here. And
He said, "We're not here," like directly, like in that moment.
oh yeah.
She's like, "I'm looking right at you, dude."
Mhm. And then when she, meaning Maki, when she goes upstairs and Lane is working on her Navi, her computer, like her Lane's voice goes all static at the right before the to be continued. Her voice goes all static. And again, I just feel like that's worth remarking on.
Yeah. The number of theories in my head is reaching critical levels.
Do we want to pause and talk about any of those before we go into episode 4?
No, there's too many. There's too many right now. I gotta think them through.
Okay. So episode 4, titled Religion, opens with, I can't remember the exact line again, but there's this disembodied voice, and they specifically reference like humans as though they are not human.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that seemed significant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't skipped any of your notes, have I?
Nope. That's why I was double checking and seeing what I know. I feel like a lot more happens in this episode.
A lot more happens. I have a lot more questions. We get a couple little answers here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But my second question, or actually, no, let me read several of my questions in order because it's nothing but question marks. Humans? Who is this talking? Did Lane get all of this equipment from her dad? Also, why is he watching her like that?
The only one I can answer is he thinks she's acting weird.
Yes.
Because he does confirm that later on. So
yes, he does.
Because she is not acting like herself. Like
no,
herself that
not.
We saw in earlier episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but got nothing for you on the humans, the voice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I don't know. I wrote something down and I can't remember exactly what it's in reference to. Because I wrote down, how did what go? Like somebody asked something, how something went.
That sounds familiar, but I'm not placing it. Was it like the mom asking the dad?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Because isn't this the point where her mom is like kind of snotty to her?
Yeah.
Her dad comes home
mm-hmm.
and confirms that he thinks she's acting real weird.
Mm-hmm. And then Maki goes and asks their dad about it, and he says that he thinks it's normal, which I really don't think it is.
No.
And then we learn, like, as soon as Maki leaves the room, we learn that he doesn't think it's normal either.
Nope.
So,
but that's what you do as a parent. You lie to your kids.
I've gotten the impression that that's a lot, like a surprisingly like high percentage of what you do as a parent.
Yeah. Strategic lying. I feel like, just like he lied to Lane when he said he didn't know what the chip was.
Mm-hmm. But then we cut to, I don't know where, we get to somewhere else in the city, and this guy appears to be running for his life, screaming from a little girl.
Yeah. Don't say it like that's confusing. Little girls are terrifying, man.
Little girls are terrifying, especially weird little girls. But
yeah,
what's up with her eyes?
She doesn't have them?
Yeah, it kind of looked like, I didn't know if that was supposed to be like, oh, her face is all in shadow, or if she is actually missing eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I immediately assumed either she is some sort of eldritch horror, or they were not in the real world.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
But then the next morning, we're in Lane's homeroom and we learn that there have been more suicides among students at both her junior high and the high school.
Mm-hmm. And an adult.
And an adult, yes. And we also have confirmation that Lane has, I don't know if I should say accessed or been in the Wired.
I think they phrase it as being like in it.
Yeah, so Lane
Or
has
to
been
it.
in the, like, Lane has officially been in the Wired.
Yeah. Which is this already past the whole guy thing with the little girl?
Yes.
I was gonna say, is that where you're, because I thought it was really interesting how he loads a non-existent gun and shoots the girl.
No, that was the second guy, I think.
Oh, you're right. I conflated them in my head for a moment there. Never mind.
We will get there though.
Yep, no.
But when Lane starts talking about like having been in the Wired, having modded her Navi, things like that, Adisu seems concerned.
Well, yeah, because she's not acting like herself.
Yeah. Which I just found kind of strange because like they didn't really seem to be friends.
Yeah. I saw it more as like she kind of felt bad for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more the vibe I get.
Yeah, and especially after the club thing, she sort of felt like responsible, so she's trying extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even if you're
Yeah.
not friends with somebody, this really reserved, quiet girl in class all of a sudden is acting, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you would notice regardless, I guess is the point.
Yeah. And she really does seem different.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But then when it's like after school or something and Lane is walking with Adisu and the other girls, we see like the exact same little girl who was chasing the guy the night prior, but her voice is different.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know what's going on, but definitely like, felt important.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I don't know. And when Lane is at home on her Navi again, she like is reading something, like reading an email or something. Or no, so she has like a voice message. But it was like this guy saying, like, oh yeah, I talked to some other people in the lab. I'm like, is she talking to computer scientists?
I don't know. All of a
I have
sudden she's like a
absolutely no
computer
idea.
genius.
Yeah, I have no idea. And this is when we first see reference to Phantoma, which is like a game in the Wired that is apparently very popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know what I gotta say? It looks like Doom.
Definitely the shots of going down the hallways.
Mm-hmm. It looks
Very,
like the
very
OG
vibe.
Doom. Oh, and I did this to myself again. I have to like write down more of the line because there was this kid made reference to PK, and I don't know what that is. We have not been told what that is yet.
The only context where I have heard that, it was a player killer.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
In a different anime series that was very
Right.
video based. So I don't know if that means anything, but I mean, this is a game. That was a game, like, so somebody who goes around killing other players, even though that's kind of like not cool.
Yeah. But then there's another little girl.
Yeah.
At night who is chasing someone else, and this is when he like loads. He used an old MMO term for player killing, so player versus player. Okay, cool, good to know. But yeah, this guy is like cocking and loading and shooting a fake gun, like an air gun.
Yeah, which is
very strange.
Cool effect.
It is a very cool effect.
Just something about it, yeah.
And It's so weird because it seems as though killing her quote unquote in game may have like actually resulted in a real life death because the next like you can hear him say something about like how like he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, he didn't know it was a little girl because he was just scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just like, what's up? What's going
Yeah.
on?
Well, but I think what's interesting is that like shortly after that, they showed that little girl in the real world and she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly she doesn't get hurt. But based on the like the suicides they talked about, and then like the fact that the first guy was like an adult man,
Mm-hmm.
and then this guy might have been like a senior in high school,
Yeah.
it seems like they're the ones who are dying.
Interesting. Okay. We might have connected some dots there.
Yeah. That was kind of my thought, like, okay, so people are dying in this game that but it makes it look like a suicide.
Mm-hmm. And then, what is Lane doing there? And love this line from Breaking Bad. Why are you blue?
Yeah.
A little confused about that.
Yeah.
And again, is that our quote unquote lane or lane of the wired? The other lane that has seems to have that appeared at the it is the other lane that appeared at the nightclub lane of the wired. Many
Yeah.
questions.
I think it's all the same lane, but
Okay, interesting.
mhm.
And then when Lane is at home again and she's working on her Navi and she's talking to her father and he gives her like he gives her a very ominous warning about the wired and he's like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
just a method for communication at the end of the day." And she has and frankly her response is even more alarming because she's
Terrifying.
like, yeah, because she's like, "Oh no, it's more than that. Like I'll be able to enter it soon, translate myself into it." And then she says, "I'm still me," which are you sure about that?
But then gives that like little smirk, and I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust that smirk. Yeah, well, and she says the thing about like that the border between the real world and the wired is like
Mm-hmm.
kind of nebulous essentially,
Yeah.
which I mean that seems very true.
I mean, that's kind of how the internet turned out.
Mm.
So, um, and then somebody says that the knights are a religion of sorts that are like spreading through. Was it the Wired or was it Phantoma specifically?
I thought it was the wired.
Okay. Yeah, some sort of like religion that's spreading through the Wired, which brings us back to like the reference to like a scattered god or gods in episode 2 and
Hmm.
Chisei Yamada saying that like God is here in episode 1 in
Hmm.
reference to the Wired.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Because I mean,
connecting
this
dots.
episode is religion, is so it makes sense.
Yeah. Um And oh, this I skipped all the way to the end of the second episode when I conflated the two in my head. This is when she's still being watched by these sort of like Matrix agent types with these glasses that have like a laser sight on them.
Mm-hmm.
And what the fuck was that?
She's magic.
Cuz she tells them to go away and her window like the glass flexes or whatever
Hmm.
and his glasses break just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
snap in half on on his face.
yeah.
So
She shot him with her mind.
yeah, apparently. And then the Navi says intruder interrupted, and that's where the episode ends.
Yes, like the computer sensed it and helped out or something.
Yeah. Questions, but I want to hear about your theories.
Well, first of all, there were a couple things that I wanted to note about this last episode. That
Mm-hmm.
first of all, when she's at I think she's at Siberia, and the one guy's talking to her, and this is when he brings up the Phantoma game.
Mm-hmm.
He says she's an adult.
I wonder if he's referring to the other Lane.
But he's talking to her. Like it's clearly like a 14-year-old girl.
This
And
is so
he's
strange.
because he says something, about like he's talking about the game and he's like, yeah, but that's like kid stuff. Like an adult like you wouldn't be interested in that. It's like, why on earth would you look at
Yeah.
this child and think she's an adult?
Very strange.
Yeah, so I thought that that was important because it's not just like there's another version of her in whatever way,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently that version is somehow convincing people that she's an adult,
Yeah.
which seems very, difficult to do.
Yeah.
But so I feel like that's important. Also, that they pointed out that apparently some wires got crossed and the Phantoma combined with tag that kindergartners play.
Good Lord. Yeah. I did forget about that.
So that's why the kids were appearing there.
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
And so
that does make
yeah.
sense.
And so now I'm wondering, so they're in this world of this game, and they're clearly terrified, right? Both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And terrified enough that they just like shoot whatever comes at them. And I wonder if somehow shooting the wrong thing breaks the rules of the game, and that's why they die. And that's why he was so upset that he shot a little girl. Like he knew she would be fine, but he thought he
could be right, honestly.
And of course, then it ties back to the first episode when the girl jumps off the building. Was she playing in the game? And
Could be. I don't know. Who's to say? I'm sure we will find out more as we continue watching. What other theories do you have? I'm loving these.
there is no limit to the theories.
I mean, we got all night, Queen.
Well, so, and of course, many of them are mutually exclusive, so I don't necessarily believe all these things, but, based on Lane's comment that the boundary between the two things isn't like, super clear. It seems like somehow the Wired is encroaching on the real world, might be the best way to put it.
Okay.
Like they're almost like overlapping, which would explain a lot of like why she hears the voices and why certain things look weird or distorted.
Mm-hmm.
And the one kid she talks to in Siberia talks about how people in the game will often, or in the Wired, will often make like characters or avatars that are very different from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So like the adult like in the Wired lane is that avatar, but because these two worlds are sort of blending.
All right, I'm following you. I saw what you're cooking.
Yeah, so it's almost like it's kind of bleeding into the real world. And so we see a lot of elements of the Wired in the real world.
I also noticed in these... Oh, sorry.
I was also just wondering if the adult lane is the real lane and this lane is the fake lane.
We'll find out. I hope. Maybe. I wonder. I noticed there were no title cards in these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we also never got any kind of like confirmation or any hint of like what who is speaking when we see the title card.
Yeah, no, nothing on that.
Just none whatsoever.
And I just have a feeling they won't ever.
I mean, they could come back though. I mean, we'll have to see in the next episodes.
I just have a feeling that it won't.
Yeah. I want to know where we think this is going. If we have even the vaguest notion.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this theory that the worlds are kind of like overlapping. I think these cyborg dudes, I know they're not cyborg, but these guys are somehow of the wired and are trying to like police things in a way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because obviously the digital world encroaching on the real world is going to cause some problems, and so they're trying to like deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Lane seems like maybe she is a criminal to them.
Possible.
Like they seem to be after her. They were hanging out on her porch, and then they were hanging out outside and
Mm-hmm.
watching her at school, all those
Yeah.
things. It's like, why would they be paying that much attention to her? She has to be significant. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the guy on the drugs freaked out.
Yeah.
Like she had some power.
She's like at the center of something and she doesn't seem to realize it.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if she's not the real Lane.
Mm-hmm.
If she is like essentially a digital avatar, that would explain a lot.
Yeah.
But I also wonder the connection. I'm just going to keep calling them cyborgs for funsies.
Sure.
I wonder about the connection between the cyborgs and the knights.
Also unclear at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if there even is one, but I wonder because it seems like they would serve similar functions.
Mm-hmm.
Respects. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I feel like we're going to be spending more time in the Wired.
Yes.
Like, I feel like that has to be where we go. Yeah, any other predictions? I'm trying to think if I have any.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's about time that we delve more into that world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still have 9 episodes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So there's still plenty of time, I think, before we find out really anything significant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably going to learn more about the cyborgs.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably in the next couple of episodes because they're really just kind of introduced at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the next step is we got to learn some more things about them.
I can see that being the direction that we head in.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about this little batch of episodes?
No. I'm just going to keep pondering.
Okay. A good thing to do. All right. So anybody who is here just for the serial Experiments Lane, hi, welcome. Our name tags haven't been up.
I just noticed that too.
Whoopsies. Hold on. Let me fix that.
Because I knew you were about to say, like, introduce us, and I was like, oh, whoops.
Hi, we're Bridget and Brookes, and we host a weekly podcast called Fighting with Friends that airs on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday. And we do random debate topics and discussion. So if you ever want to hear people fight about things like, does pineapple belong on pizza? Is a hot dog a sandwich? You know, things like that. We're your gals.
Yeah, I decided, so our regular podcast is on Wednesdays, but we do this live stream on Thursdays, which is either like TV, movie discussion, or video games.
Yes.
And so, you know, we periodically do an anime series or like an anime movie month. And so now I've just decided I'm going to try to wear a different anime shirt every time we do, you know, anime stream.
As is your right.
So I got home from work and I was like, get these work clothes off me. I need my Juju shirt.
Anime shirt time. Love it.
Yeah, I have more than enough to get us through 13 episodes.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Let's see. Ooh.
Okay.
Seed.
I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
Renmai is another series that came out in the early 2000s from the Red. Okay, interesting.
I'm going to open a tab because I will forget that immediately.
I will keep the comment on the screen. For
I can
anybody
see
else
it
who
right
might
now.
want to write that down.
Yep, got it.
Okie
Oh yeah,
dokie.
the animation style looks very similar.
Cool.
Mystery.
All right. I would kind of class this as a mystery so far.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let's see. We are also part of a podcast network. We are part of the Eclectic Cult Media Network. We are a network of podcasts. Every Monday, there is Big Dumb Monsters, which is horror film or monster film, like monster movie, horror movie discussion in particular. Regrettable Reviews airs every other Tuesday. That is science fiction film discussion. Fighting with Friends on Wednesday. That's us. Our stream on Thursday. And then every other Friday, there is Defenestration Hour, which is a lot of corny action movie discussion. So
Yeah.
we have a wide array of topics to choose from if you like movies and random debate, and also sometimes comics brain trust, which is just talking about comics.
Or book club?
Yeah. Summer camp book club. I don't know when that's happening again.
Summer.
One would assume. So we got a lot of things for you to check out. Our links are in the description. Are when this formally goes up on YouTube. Like, I'll have it up because I'm gone this weekend, but it will be formally up on YouTube, and links to all of our stuff will be in the description. There's our link tree is available on like our Twitch profile and stuff. You can check us out there. What have we got coming up? Don't know about the usual. I don't know if there's Defenestration Hour tomorrow or not. I never do, but it airs on the Big Dumb Monsters Twitch channel. And then we've got May 6th, our special episode with the band Crash Diet. We will be interviewing them at 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday, May 6th. Don't miss it. It's going to be a freaking awesome time. Hope we see you there. Anything else we got to say?
I don't think so.
All right, then we're going to sign off for the evening. Thank you so much to everybody who watched, commented, participated. We appreciate y'all. And we will see you next week, same time, same place, to talk about episodes 5 and 6 of Serial Experiments Lain. Adios, everybody. We'll see you then.